So this is a video about why not to use Article Forge. So this was going to be a video where I've been going through some of the tools that I've used and haven't used to look at what's the ability of Originality.AI to identify the content as AI generated. But through that process and doing a bit of testing, it's pretty clear, and I don't see it talked about anywhere else online, but Article Forge is doing some stuff that is certainly not going to help the content rank for the long term. So, yeah, bit of a negative, very negative impression on Article Forge. I think it's pretty clear on how they're producing the result that they're producing, and the systems that they're trying to game. I mean, I guess we're all trying to game some systems if we're in this world of sort of content marketing, but this isn't the sustainable way to do it. So let's talk through it. I mean, the basis, the simplest explanation is that Article Forge is using not GPT-3, but probably a GPT-2, J, or Neo, and are grabbing some of the top results for a given keyword and then rewriting it to the point where it's capable of passing a keyword plagiarism check. However, the result is you end up with a highly unoriginal rewrite of a top performing article that Google will see as completely unoriginal compared to what's already ranking, and will not rank the content. So I'll talk through kind of what I'm seeing to show that. You know, again, this could totally be wrong, and if it is, you know, please, somebody from the team or an existing user that has had a different experience, please let me know. I'll be happy to fix this. But I'll just share what I'm seeing, and then you can kind of draw your own conclusions. So Article Forge is AI rewrite. It's been around for a long time, since 2016. It's one of the only tools that specifies that it is not using GPT-3. Most tools just kind of don't mention it, but Article Forge goes out of the way to say that we are not using GPT-3. It kind of raises the question, then what are they using? Originality.AI is our tool. It's a AI built to detect and understand what AI tool has created content, as well as it's a plagiarism checker. So it's ultimately to give web publishers, content managers, the ability to publish original content. So let's talk through a couple of the issues. So first issue is, Article Forge states that do not use GPT-3, but since our model is trained on GPT-2, GPT-J, GPT-Neo, sort of all the popular natural language processing APIs, and they state they're not using GPT-3, yet the tool is able to easily identify the content. It raised the question of, if they're not using GPT-3, then they're, based on our tool picking it up, are using one of these other natural language processing models. So, Article Forge is a really cool concept in terms of the simplicity of producing AI content. Execution of it isn't there yet. So I'll show you an example. So we'll run through. So here's Article Forge, and we'll run through best SEO tips. And create an article. It does take a little bit longer. I think because there's a little bit of more iterative process occurring here. Would be my guess, where it gets rewritten, but then it also needs to get created, rewritten enough to pass some plagiarism checkers. So while that's running, we'll move on to kind of the next issue, and then we'll be able to kind of test this theory out based on the output of this sort of original article. Oops, a light just fell at the back, but we'll keep going. That Article Forge creates. So the theory is that Article Forge looks at what's top performing article on Google, and then for that given keyword, and then rewrites it using one of those GPT-2 Neo-Js, and then rewrites it enough to be able to pass a keyword plagiarism checker. But ultimately, the end result is a highly unoriginal rewritten piece. And we're going to be able to test that by looking at running it through a keyword plagiarism checker like Copyscape or a portion of Originality.AI. And if it passes, that's part of the information. But then we're going to grab long paragraphs of this new article that is currently being created and run it through Google. And if it has passed plagiarism, so it's been rewritten, but it's always hitting Google's always returning the same article with a lot of matching words, then it's clearly been an unoriginal and likely a rewrite of that one article. It'll make more sense if you didn't follow that when we have the article and go through it. All right, so results is done. All right, so let's run it through. Let's run it through Originality.AI. And while that's happening, we can test out that other theory. So I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to search that long paragraph. And so what we're seeing is, at least in this case, a significant number of keywords. Even if we grab, say we grab so a lot of the same words, a lot of the same structure, just been a reworded version of this result. And here's kind of the so this one isn't as obvious as some of the others. So let's see. So it passed plagiarism, but the AI detector said that I don't even have a question. That was so obvious AI that I can give 100% certainty, which is not common. Usually, it'll hit 99, but doesn't always hit 100. So clearly, if they're stating it's not GPT-3, then it is one of these others. It is passing plagiarism, but as you can see, each sort of section of the article has a lot of overlapping keywords with a result in Google. This one was certainly the most obvious of this sort of newly created article. So that's what we're seeing. This sort of like these very unoriginal segments of text that pass keyword plagiarism. So that it does pass plagiarism, but is not original in that it's been generated by AI, and then also been heavily influenced by rewriting portions of top ranking articles. So that's sort of the first two issues that I saw with when I was looking through Article Forge. The other sort of related issue is if we look at some of the samples that they have, what we'll see, let's look at the two sample articles. What we'll see is that this is searchable, and I'll show you how I can see that in a second. But this is searchable content, that if it was original and you went and searched 2 sentences, not many people are targeting that exact content. However, HubSpot, Surfer, Backlinko all show up before Article Forge shows up down here, even though it is an exact match. So either this is like a unique penalty that's being applied, but certainly it is being indexed. And when you look at the page source, there's nothing that's telling Google to not index this content. This is relevant content to this type of page, but Google has either done some form of sort of partial manual punishment of just this group of content. But yeah, nothing. Article Forge doesn't show up until way down here, even though we searched, what would be two paragraphs of as a keyword. So I think it's pretty clear that one, the content is easily to tell that it was generated by AI. Two, it looks like Article Forge focuses its strategy around rewriting content, which results in content that is viewed as unoriginal. And then three, it seems that Google, I think there's a question on GPT-3 content continuing to rank well, but it seems like Google has implemented strategies that don't allow Article Forge content to rank. So that's sort of what I've seen from the current version of Article Forge, and why I would strongly recommend people not to use it. Again, that's just what I'm seeing. If somebody either from the team or that's a user has different sort of examples that I'd be able to dig into, I'd be happy to kind of update this and make this video more accurate. One interesting thing that sort of also shows that I think this is like, I think we're thinking about this correctly, is if you look at archive.org, so Article Forge, only kind of modern AI writing tool that explicitly states that they do not use GPT-3. And then also they're the oldest AI writing tool, kind of modern AI writing tool in the game, going back to 2016. And then what I found super fascinating is, again, the model that we have is trained on GPT-2, which was the first version of these accessible natural language processing APIs for people to build apps off of. And it came out in 2020. This is 2016, so well before that. And so let me grab. And so our tool should not be able to detect. Uh-oh, it's not working. Let's see. So I ran this sample because this sample was created before this sample output was created before GPT-2 was available. This was created in 2018. And when I run it, this might be a different sample, so we'll see what it says. But what I was looking at is the confidence that this is AI lower, which, although it's sort of counterintuitive, would make a lot of sense because the models that our AI has been trained on was not available in 2018. And so this was rewritten content from 2017 2018 and did not use AI or did not use one of these natural language processing models because these weren't available at that time. So what appears to have happened is, again, could be wrong, but Article Forge got started in 2016. They had built their own AI or rewriter or some version of that around 2020 when GPT-2 came out, GPT-3 in 2021. It looks like they at that point switched from their own internal AI to a GPT natural language processing model and API to create the content, but stuck with sort of the same structure of identifying content and rewriting that content, which then results in our what we found of a sort of fairly unoriginal piece of content that Google chooses to not rank. Yeah, don't love sort of negative videos, but I thought this was pretty clear that we had an interesting insight into why we would strongly recommend people to not use Article Forge. I would be very happy to fix this if I am wrong, but I don't see how I would be. But please share any information you can that would help me be wrong with this. But yeah, if you're watching this and thinking about signing up for Article Forge, I would recommend against it. All right, hope you have a good day. Hope this helps. Take care.